I'm on to Donald Trump and TikTok and his new decision to extend for another 90 days the forced sale approved by the United States Supreme Court of TikTok from its Chinese owners or face a total ban in the United States. There's a reason Donald Trump just decided today that he is going to extend the time another 90 days to help negotiate out a deal that he quote unquote has a warm spot for TikTok, which has already been properly vetted through the national intelligence community under Joe Biden and even under this administration, and found that because of the relationship between the Chinese government, the communist Chinese government, and TikTok, and the information that it is vacuuming up on a daily basis, algorithmically and otherwise, from American users, that it needs to be sold and divested and separated from China. But Donald Trump has 15 million TikTok users. His children, including Barron, convinced him that one of the reasons that he won the election is because of TikTok. But more to the point, and buried within all of this, is the real reason for the extension. Donald Trump, and you can write it down now and tell me later if Popok was right or wrong, he's going to use the same golden share approach that he just used to allow Nippon, a Japanese company, to buy U.S. steel with the American government in business with a Japanese company. We, as an American people, are going to be in business through Donald Trump with TikTok. You don't want to own TikTok? Well, I'm sorry. Donald Trump is going to propose that. I am sure, without any insider knowledge, but I do have eyes and ears and gray matter, that Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, is busy negotiating a deal with TikTok along with the blueprint that was just set by the deal that they brokered for the $14 billion takeover, entire takeover of the United States Steel Company by a Japanese concern. Same thing's going to happen with TikTok. And I'm going to break it down right here on Legal AF. All right. As Donald Trump was taking office, the Biden administration successfully put TikTok on a ban, and Congress passed a law to force TikTok to be divested by its Chinese Communist Party owners. Why? Because every company that operates in China, I know people don't want to hear about this, but that are on TikTok, but every company that operates in China, including TikTok, must make it a condition that they provide a backdoor to the Chinese government to allow it to data suck anytime they want everything that's in their servers. They can yank their servers and use that information. And China's not saying they're not going to do it. What do they use it for? Of course, they use it to improve their artificial intelligence algorithms and their technology, to weaponize it against America. You think you're just doing a new dance craze. That's me doing my new dance craze. But what you're really doing is providing biometric and other data, including, if you answer questions, financial data and other things in comments that the Chinese can use in their military apparatus and target it against America. It makes their trolls more effective. It makes their artificial intelligence more effective against the United States. They are our enemy, if I dare to remind anybody that. TikTok is the Trojan horse that got its way into the United States and allows the Chinese government to peer in. You think you're looking at a camera, but you're ultimately being looked at and watched by China. You know those apps that say, hey, or on TikTok, hey, you want to know what you look like in 50 years? Upload a photo now. Where's that photo going? Into a database to be used ultimately by the Chinese military. And so Congress, when Congress was in control by the right people, passed a law, bipartisan, to force the sale. The Supreme Court supported it, even though the Trump administration at the last minute tried to reverse course and argue a different position before the Supreme Court. But Donald Trump has been violating the congressional law and Supreme Court mandate ever since, with 90-day extension, 90-day extension, another 90-day extension. But here's how he's going to solve the problem. Are you comfortable with being in bed with the Chinese? Are you comfortable in being in business with the Chinese? Because that's what's going to happen. Think about how they designed the Japanese takeover of U.S. Steel. The president of the United States, and you and me apparently, get a golden share, what they're now jokingly referring to as a Class G share of stock that gives them and gives us governance ability and governance rights and a stake at the table with the Japanese to run U.S. Steel. How do you think the true American competitors like Nucor of U.S. Steel feel about now competing against the American government that's in business with the Japanese against them? And is also their regulator, their investigator, their tax, their IRS, and everything else. Is that fair fight? And whether you like it or not, if this deal goes forward, which it looks like it's going to, we're going to be in business with the Japanese in the steel business. Same thing's going to happen with TikTok. We're going to hear an announcement within the next 90 days that Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, has negotiated an amazing deal, art of the deal. Hooray. We're now in business with China. TikTok is going to be owned, but we're going to control it. We're going to control who they can give information to, which is never going to work, by the way, because this is still a Chinese company. It is still based in China, even though it's an American subsidiary. But get ready, because that deal is going to be announced, and they're going to put America and our credibility, whether we like it or not, at risk. And we're going to be in the TikTok business as a United States, whether we like it or not. How do you feel about being in business with the communist Chinese? Because that's what this extension means. I'm here to translate it for you the only way I know how, with my Wall Street experience, my law experience, putting it all together here on Legal AF. There is a reason that TikTok has been banned in the United States as owned by an enemy combatant, if you will. But Donald Trump just sees it as a deal, as a transaction. You think President Xi of China is going to allow no information flow between TikTok and Chinese government? Forget it. The golden share will be an illusion. But it will allow the transaction to go forward and to circumvent the laws of Congress and the rulings of the United States Supreme Court. And that should trouble fair-minded people of every party and no party about the Trump administration. I'm going to continue to follow it when you hear the next announcement about TikTok, but that's what's going to happen. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and tell you I was wrong. But I'm telling you, this is the blueprint. We just saw it several days ago with the approval of Nippon Steel taking over U.S. Steel. I'll follow it all on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button. Help us continue to grow this pro-democracy channel. Midas Touch, our collaborative partners, just reached 5 million subscribers in about 5 years. We're going to hit 1 million in about 1 year. Yeah, and we're going to hit 700,000, I believe, by this weekend with your help. So until my next report on all things Legal AF, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.